Hello everybody, Lily here from Decowreathsbylily. I'm working on a refresh on the vinyl that I did on the Railboard, and I'm going to just kind of show you what I've been up to so far. As you can see, I wanted to change it up because this was actually one of the first ones I've done on the Railboard with the vinyl, and I wanted to kind of give it a different look. So this is what I've done so far. As you can see, I'm using purple, lilac, roses, daisies. I threw in some gypsophilia here as well. So I've already done the one side and my bows are ready to go because I don't want to make this video too long. And then of course I added a different color hanger. So I'm going to turn it this way. So I love the Railboards. Like I said, I love the vinyls. I had this up between my door for a good 4 months. As you can see, it's still like really intact. Okay. And the great thing about this type of design is you can refresh it as long as the deco mesh underneath that you use is still in pretty good shape. You can change it up. So if you're one of these people that likes to do seasonal, you can remove all the florals and you can add fall florals. You can add winter florals, spring if you want. You know what I mean? That's the great thing about these types of vinyls. And of course, this is my initial. And these are available through Unique in a Creek all year round. And they have all the letters from A to Z. Okay, so let's get started because I don't, like I said, I don't want my video to get spliced by Facebook. I love Facebook. So I used a 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch ribbon. So I used a purple and kind of like a lavender color to put onto the deco mesh. And then I used the lavender horizontal wide stripe and the white. And if I remember correctly, I cut these 10 inches and then I just did one curl on both sides, scrunched it up, and then put the curl side down and then pulled them together, and then I zip tied it together about 1 inch. So let's get started. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here. So pretty much what you do on one side, you have to mirror on the other side. Okay, so I'm gonna do this here. Like I said, I don't know if you'll be able to see this. So I've used these two holes, the bottom hole and the middle hole. So I'm going to put my zip tie through, and I'm using 8-inch zip ties. Like I bought it, I don't know what possessed me to buy 1,000 8-inch zip ties, but I'm kind of glad I did because they're actually coming in handy. So what I will do first is I'll put the mesh and the ribbon in first. Okay, and then of course I'm just going to scrunch it up the middle. Fold it. Now I didn't separate the ribbon because I wanted to keep the more lavender type one on top of the purple, just to kind of, you know what I mean? As you can see on the other side what I did there. So I'm just going to put that in first, and this is what I do first. Give me 1 second here. I'm having a problem here. One of those days. Okay. So then just puff up the ribbon here. And of course, then I'm going to tighten it more. So this zip tie is before the zip tie of the mesh at the bottom. Okay, I'll just cut this off. Okay, I love these because these don't take very long to make. If you do all the prep work ahead of time, once you go to put everything together, it's like a breeze. So what I'm going to do, so like I said, you got to mirror what you did on this side onto this side. So you can see my purple roses here. So when I put these bundles together, these florals I actually got from Temu. Like I was really shocked at the quality of them. Actually, they're really good. So I got these in a big spray. So I used 2 bundles. Like I've already used 1 bundle on this side and this is the second bundle. And then what I did was I sprayed them with some Scotch Guard, because this stuff here, this comes apart. Like I love this stuff, but it tends to fall off. So I just kind of sprayed it all just to kind of, you know, coat it. So now what I'm going to do, I bent this up a little bit. I might need to move this down. So now I'm going to put this here and lay it over top. So make sure if you're doing this that you're laying over top of the ribbon and the mesh. And I'm going to grab another 8-inch zip tie. Okay, and then I'm going to put it through the bottom. I love these colors, by the way. These are actually anything purple, lavender, you know, those are my actual favorite colors. So I wanted to kind of give this a refresh and kind of put my favorite colors in it, because I actually am going to hang it back up on my door, like in between my screen door. Because I have a sunflower wreath up there right now, but I want to put this one up, back up. Okay. What is, you ever have one of those days where just, there we go. Okay, so we want to make sure that this zip tie that you're putting in for the bundle is ahead of the zip tie there that you put your bundle together, because you don't want it to come out, and that'll prevent it from coming out. Okay, and then we're just going to tighten it a bit more, and there you go. And then just clip it off. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move it up a bit just to kind of fluff it. And there we go. And then we have one more. Now I kept the middle one there because this is where the bow is going to go. I didn't want to remove it and then put it back. So that's where my bow is going to sit. Okay, now we're going to do the white. So again, this whole, like I said, I don't know if you can see this. And then the second, the middle hole and the bottom hole is where I do it. Oh, what is, you know, I'm having that day. Gotta love Saturday. Okay, and then put it in again. Okay. You can see here where I put the zip tie. And now we're going to put the white in. And just leave it sitting right there, because we're going to get our ribbon. Scrunch, scrunch, scrunch. I'll fold it over. And then we're just going to put it right on top. And then just make sure that this zip tie is ahead of the nub of the other one. That can get a little tricky sometimes. There we go. Perfect. Now I cut my ribbon tails at 14 inches. Some people cut them at 13. Some like to cut them at 12. I cut them at 14 because like I want to see the ribbon as well. Kind of peeking out, right? So it kind of matches up with my color schemes here that I've got going on. Okay, so I'm just going to tighten that again. There we go. And then I'm going to use another zip tie to put in my floral bundle. See, it's kind of like a lavender, got purple. It's really neat. And then I use this white gypsophilia. I bought a packet of this. Well, actually, I got it with the other bundle of florals of this that I bought. So I figured I might as well add a little bit of white just to give a little bit of color. Okay, so I'm going to just bend it up a little bit so it sits. There we go. You see that? Okay, make sure these are up. My florals, and you could play with the florals after too if you want to spread them out a little bit, whatever. Okay. Normally I'd put the zip tie in first, but all right, let's get this intact. Here we go. So what you want to do here, make sure that this zip tie you put in is in front of this one, because you don't want this bundle to come out and then just push down on it. There you go. And then just give it a tight. Okay, that is all that I can do. And then this is good to go. Okay. And then after, you can play with the florals, and because like I said, what you well, I guess I didn't mirror it properly. Oopsie. Oh well. So you just want to mirror, make sure that this rose is on this side. I thought I did, but I guess I'm blind today. So as you can see, I'll fix it, maybe fix that up after. Right. And so now you just want to put this mesh and fluff it up. Like I said, there wasn't anything wrong with this mess. I just had to cut a couple of ends off, and that was it. Okay, and I've already made my bow. So this is the bow that I'm going to put on. As you can see, I used the same colors, the purple, the kind of lavender. And I had some of this left, this ribbon left. So I figured, okay, might as well put that in there. So the loop is 6, 5, 4, and 2 is how I make mine. And then of course I zip tied it, put my pipe cleaner on the end. So now I'm gonna put it in the middle and the bottom is how I do this to get this on. Just put it through the holes underneath. There we go. And then just make sure we turn it. And then I'm just gonna give it a couple of twists at the bottom. And then after, I'll cut it off and put it in. Okay. Just play around with it. I'll end up fixing this up after as well. But this is what I have so far. So when you have the bow on, okay, and you can always put it down a little bit, especially if it's going between your screen door, depending on what the distance, like the depth is between your screen door and your main door. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. And then of course my tail. I made these at 14 inches or whatever, and then of course I cut them up a little bit more. Okay, so there's that there. So it kind of matches with everything I've got going on. Okay, now the hanger, you could do this without the hanger. I added a hanger. I replaced the black one with this lavender color one. You can keep the vinyl intact if you want on the back, like I did with this one. This is one I made for my door for the winter time. I had this up right through from like after Christmas until April. So this is what I made with this one, but I didn't add a hanger. Instead, I put a cable mount, the E6000, and then I hot glued it, put the hanger through it so I can keep it up, right? So I didn't want to kind of put holes in this one, but this is one I made for myself. Right, and this will last for quite some time. So I'll bag it up again and keep it up, and then I'll put it back up again after Christmas, because I love, I'm a big nature person. All right, so this is the bow I made for the top, because I'm going to add a bow to the top. I didn't fluff anything out. I zip tied it together, and then I pinned it here on the ends where I folded it over. Okay, because then it's going to go like this. And then I'll be able to fluff it out after. Now, the way I'm gonna put this on, and because I already zip tied it, I'm gonna add another zip tie. But then I need to add a zip tie for a hanger. So I'm gonna take a 6-inch and then the 8-inch. So I'm just gonna separate this. Because I wanted to keep the bow intact. Okay, so, and this is the tricky part. So you could use whatever you want as well as a hanger. You can use glitter rope, you can use cording, whatever you're fancy. That's what I love about this. Okay, so now I'm gonna make sure that this is in the middle. Just gonna flip this over. And well, what I'm also gonna do is cut that other zip tie off that I used. Okay, so here's the bow. You can see what I'm doing here. I'm making sure that this part that I clipped together is sitting on top of the bow, right? Because I want to zip tie this in. And when I overlapped, it was like a 2-inch overlap. So I want to make sure that it's almost like right in the middle. Okay, and where is that zip tie? Oh, there it is. So here's the zip tie I'm going to use for the hanger. So I'm just going to kind of put that in here. In with this zip tie. Okay, and then just tighten that up. And then I'm going to remove these clips. I clipped it together so it wouldn't fall apart. And there you go. Easy peasy. And now I'm going to zip tie this up because this is going to be my hanger. Just a couple of zips. And cut it off. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this off. And there you go. Oops, a little flat. So you can see here now, it's all ready to go. Okay, and then I'm going to, so that nub there, and then afterwards what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of hot glue and then just glue these two, like these ends down. Okay, oh, there you go. Now I can fluff out my bow. I didn't make the tails very long on this one. Nope, hold on. And again, 6, 5, 4, and then the 2-inch loop in the middle. I always like a loop in the middle. If you're new to wreath making, or you're thinking about it, eventually everybody comes into their own when it comes to making bows, you know, how you like to do things. There's all kinds of little tips and tricks out there. If you go to Unique in a Creek, their YouTube page, there's all kinds of tutorials. I know Monkey's Creations, she has a lot of tutorials. Crafty Liz Creations does. So there's always little things that you can learn, little tips and tricks, right? And there we go. And she's done. Okay, so let me fix this. Like I said, and I'll fix this after. All right, so that's my hanger. There you go. I'll take a picture of it after, what it looks like on my door. So these, I just cut 7 inches because I wanted to see the actual hanger ribbon. It's a really pretty color. And that's it. And that's all she wrote. Okay. There we go. And there's the bow. Like I said, I'll take a picture of this after to show you guys what it really looks like. And then I'll get it all fluffed out properly and everything else. But this is my refresh. And like I said, this is perfect. Even for any kind of a wreath that you're doing, if you're using the rail boards, the character boards, or whatever, you want to kind of refresh. But I love the vinyl with the rail board because then I can swap it out if I want. So if I want to do maybe something for the fall and put fall colors in, you know, if I can keep this, I'll keep all of this and then just add it after fall's over and maybe do winter. Okay. Alrighty, perfect. Well, thank you very much for watching. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow is Father's Day, and I am going to be spending tomorrow with my dad. And I'm going to spend the day with him. We're going to have lunch and everything, and we'll talk about, you know, history, because him and I are huge history buffs and everything else. But I want to wish all the dads out there, you know, a very, very, very happy Father's Day. My wish for you is to be spoiled and pampered and to spend your day with your family. Okay, have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye for now.